In the last devlog, I realized Project Mind is just a shooter. A shooter without outstanding visuals and sounds, but most importantly, without entertaining game loops. You can either shoot dudes in a space station or shoot dudes in space, which doesn't entertain for a long period of time. This problem exists because I didn't focus on implementing all core mechanics, but on polishing the general shooting part to get a demo out as fast as possible, even though this demo wouldn't even showcase the game. To fix this, I went through a lot of pain and bugs, but at the end I got a game that might not perish in the depth of Steam as another failed FPS game. First, I thought about the core game loop once again and started by declaring the end condition, which is reclaiming all 4 space stations. This goal, however, can't be reached by one person with a spaceship because of the so-called reclaim game loop. In order to reclaim a station, you need to conquer the galaxy in an epic space battle, then you need to make your way into the space station and either kill the captain or make him surrender to get your reward. But as you can see, it's absolutely impossible to reclaim anything without the help of your own fleet. And that's where the fleet building game loop becomes important. At the beginning of the game, you'll get one mothership. This mothership got ambushed, which decimated the amount of crew members on the ship and impacted the overall functionality of the ship. Basically, there are 4 crew member types. Cannoneers, which control the cannons. Pilots, which will follow you into the space fights, service, which will repair the ship while fighting, and soldiers, which will enter the space station with you to fight the aliens. However, it's not possible to fight other spaceships with just 5 manned cannons, so you have to recruit people. Therefore, you have to land on planets and do quests for people, which will then join your fight against the aliens, but more about that in a second. If your fleet is strong enough, you can then head out into a new galaxy, reclaim the first space station and raid the next motherships to add it to your fleet before reclaiming the next space station. Well, that was a lot of theory, so let me show you the implemented way of all those new mechanics. Oh, and by the way, you can wishlist Project Mind on Steam if the mentioned mechanics already sounded interesting to you. Anyways, I added the cannons to the mothership and set them unmanned or manned according to the amount of cannoneers working on the ship. The large cannons focus on hostile motherships, while those smaller cannons focus on the player. Combined with Diego's recommendation of adding abilities to the different spaceship types, we now have a large variety of possible ways to win the fight. You can either sneak up to enemies or turrets with the invisibility of the stealth ship, bomb the shit out of anything with the tracking missile of the bombers, or destroy what's in your way by activating the shield of the fighter class spaceship. The only thing you have to consider is that you have to survive long enough to destroy those generators if you want to raid the ship and add it to your fleet by shooting your way through it. Short disclaimer, it won't be as easy as it's shown here. Besides exchanging the bridge with an engine room and adding the bridge to the 2nd floor of the spaceship, I haven't changed the raiding part of the game, and we can have a closer look on the added quests. There are 4 different categories of quests, each representing one type of crew member you can hire after completing the quest. For recruiting pilots, I thought it would fit to win a race against someone, so that's what you got to do if you want some company in space. I honestly didn't have the time to create real tracks, but trust me, they will be better than this. After finishing the quest successfully, you will be able to select where the crew member should work, but because I only own one mothership, I have one option only. For recruiting soldiers, you will have to investigate some strange matter, which is connected to a small story that will differ from planet to planet. On this ice planet, it's the disappearing of workers in the mining facility, but that's up to you to discover. The end condition is killing a boss, and that's how you get more soldiers to infiltrate space stations. In order to add more explosion to space fights, you need to stop the invasion of bandits. Therefore, you will be able to control those big planetary cannons. Charging a shot will increase the size, speed and damage of the projectile, so it might be helpful to figure out what works best for you. I plan on adding more to the invasion, like vehicles that already landed and land fights in general, but we will see about this in the future. If you manage to defeat the bandits, the enforcement troops will support your fights with a cannoneer you can recruit and add to your fleet. The only crew member that has no quest yet is the service, so every recommendation is highly appreciated either in the comments or in the community Discord server, where I'll announce when the demo is finished and choose some playtesters. Now, to make things clear, I don't say Project Mind is going to be the next #1 shooter. All I mean is that, in my opinion, I managed to give it some sort of unique personality with this fleet building mechanic, so it might not be considered just a shooter anymore, and interests enough people to not land on the last page of Steam. I'm really interested in your opinion about that, so please let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.